A single strike in the Middle East could redraw the map of the world. One miscalculation, one decision, and suddenly every global power is dragged into a war. No one wanted, but no one can stop. This is not science fiction. This is the most dangerous moment in global geopolitics. The standoff between the United States and Iran, and how one spark could trigger a global war. For decades, the United States and Iran have circled each other like predators waiting for the slightest weakness. Tehran has built a network of militant proxies across the Middle East, from Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthis in Yemen, challenging American allies and interests. Washington, in turn, has responded with crippling sanctions, strategic strikes, and constant military presence in the region. But now, the stakes are higher than ever. In recent months, the U.S. has carried out precision strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, moves Tehran called provocative and dangerous. Iran's leaders warned that any further action would unleash consequences far beyond the Middle East. And it isn't just ideology or power at play. The Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes, lies within reach of Tehran's missiles and drones. If Iran disrupts this choke point, global energy markets could collapse overnight. This isn't speculation. Intelligence reports show both nations are preparing contingency plans for a possible escalation. For the first time in decades, the world is watching a conflict that could escalate far beyond regional borders. Imagine this: a sudden strike by Iran on U.S. forces in the Gulf. A retaliatory American response, ships maneuvering, missiles launched, lives at risk. And while the world holds its breath, other players are watching closely. Russia and China, with vested strategic interests in the region, could be drawn in, not out of desire, but necessity. Because in today's global chessboard, every move has consequences far beyond the battlefield. Now imagine the conflict spirals even further. Iran launches a counterstrike, not only against U.S. military bases, but also commercial shipping lanes in the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices soar, markets crash, global economies tremble under the shock. Europe scrambles to secure alternative energy sources. Asia fears shortages, and the United States braces for the fallout on Wall Street and Main Street alike. But this isn't the first time tensions have threatened the world. History reminds us of past confrontations: the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the U.S. Embassy crisis, the drone strikes of the 2010s, and the failed nuclear negotiations, all moments when one misstep could have sparked a larger war. And now, the stakes are higher than ever. Consider this: what if Russia intervenes? Moscow, allied with Tehran through military cooperation and shared strategic goals, could provide advanced weaponry, intelligence, or naval support. Naval deployments in the Indian Ocean could escalate into skirmishes with the U.S. Navy. Suddenly, what began as a regional conflict becomes a Sarin-Fun superpower standoff. Long-range missile deployments, cyber attacks on energy grids, and electronic warfare could all unfold simultaneously. Or imagine China stepping in. Beijing relies heavily on Middle Eastern oil, including discounted Iranian crude. A disruption in supply could force China's navy into strategic positions to protect its lifeline. The world's second-largest economy would not stay neutral if vital energy routes are threatened. Every decision Beijing makes could ripple across global trade, finance, and diplomacy. Meanwhile, the civilian cost grows. Airline flights get cancelled, fuel prices spike, making transportation unaffordable for millions. Food prices rise. Medical supplies face delays. Panic spreads in cities thousands of miles away from the conflict zone. Families face uncertainty. Markets wobble. Governments scramble. What would happen if the conflict lasted weeks? Months? Could global supply chains collapse? Could the world face rolling blackouts? Every day, leaders scramble to de-escalate. But every strike makes diplomacy harder. Journalists track every movement. Analysts forecast every missile launch. Ordinary citizens watch in fear. Naval skirmishes erupt across the Gulf and spill into the Indian Ocean. Allied nations are forced to choose sides. Global economies falter. Diplomacy collapses. And the war spreads quietly, but relentlessly, far beyond anyone's control. Satellite networks could be targeted. Global communications could be disrupted. The world watches helplessly as the conflict spreads to new theaters. This is the terrifying reality of modern conflict. One misstep, one misinterpreted signal, one retaliation taken too far. A localized conflict transforms into a global crisis. Military analysts warn that a single strike could trigger a chain reaction across multiple continents. The question isn't if this war could happen. The question is when, and whether the world will ever be ready. And yet, even in this chaos, there is a chance to avoid disaster. Leaders can choose restraint. Diplomacy can still prevail. But as tensions rise and missiles move into position, the window is shrinking. Intelligence agencies analyze every move. Negotiators scramble to prevent escalation. One wrong calculation, one misread signal, and the balance could tip. One spark in the wrong place, one miscalculation, and the world may be forced to watch history unfold in the most destructive way imaginable. The choice between escalation and diplomacy lies in the hands of those who understand the stakes. And the world waits, holding its breath.